Hey, so this is my final build for project number 2. It's a hexagonal game of life. So if you're familiar with the game of life, usually it's on like this rectangular grid, and then basically cells will live or die depending on the number of neighbors that they have around them. One of the considerations when designing this game of life was that I wanted to make sure that it kind of went perpetually, so there's this nice kind of artwork that I can hang on the wall. And it just keeps going. Whereas usually the game of life has some stability issues and will end up getting into this stable state where either everything is dead or just a few things will oscillate. But this one's pretty good. I took a time lapse of it running for, it must have been about 15 minutes or so, and it would just keep going, which is kind of cool. And that's all based on the rules that you choose, like how many cells will kill a cell, and also how many cells you need to create a new one. So basically what the build is that I've got some kind of like plastic sheet here in front, and behind it is just some printed paper with these hexagonal cells. I've got a little keypad here because one of my requirements was that the user could either reset the game because I was worried about that stability issue, or alternatively influence the cells, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then on the back here, I've got this Teensy, which is a certain type of Arduino, and I've got some wiring here, so this actually goes to just a little power plug. And then I've got the keypad coming in on this one, and then this goes out to the LEDs to control them. Yeah, so I'll demonstrate it. So I've got a power cord here. You can plug that in the side, and should see, there we go, here it is. So basically the red cells are ones that are dying, the blue ones, hopefully you can see the blue and the green, the blue ones are the ones that are alive, and green shows up when basically new ones are being spawned. And the keypad, so say I wanted to add a cell to this row here, which is the 5th row from the top, then basically I press 5, and then you can see it's kind of like lightly green or lightly red, and that basically means that those numbers will kill or create cells. So if I chose 5 here, it should create one in the middle, and there you go. And equivalent, like maybe I choose 2 and create that one. Yeah, so that meets the requirement of the user being able to like influence the cells. You know, some of our classmates had some pretty good suggestions, like using a joystick and potentially looking at doing touch. I looked into them. In the end, the keypad was kind of the easiest thing to implement in the time constraints that we had. So I went with that. I also have one other button because I was worried about it getting stuck and just wanting to like restart the whole thing. So you can press the star here or the asterisk and it just reboots the game. Oh, sorry, it's the 0. The 0 reboots the game. There we go. There's quite a lot of effort getting it to this point here. You know, I played around a lot early on, like trying to figure out how to actually create the hexagonal cells because it's not this nice like linear grid. You have this kind of wobbly thing in here. I played around with epoxy, played around with clay. Those things didn't really work. In the end, I decided, you know what, let's just keep it simple. Use a paper sheet, shine some LEDs through it. Yeah, worked pretty well. So that's all for my build. Thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing the build from you guys.